But the one thing that the top guys have is hunger. They just don't take no. They just keep going.
I think it's resilience. That's the number one thing for real estate agents. Like, it's so hard, and people don't talk about this. Like, when you pick up the phone and someone's like, "Why are you calling me? I don't want to talk to you." Like, wow. Like, what?
Even though they've actually inquired sometimes.
That's the thing, right? So it's like, and people are finding reasons to be on edge all the time. I don't blame them because they get called by everyone and people misuse databases and things like that. But I really feel like it takes a lot of resilience and the thick skin to basically handle the rejection. And I think a lot of real estate agents, should definitely pat themselves on the back for being able to do that. I know people give a lot of heat to the space for the, what does it take to actually sell a house and things like that. But I don't think people understand how hard it is to start from scratch, no contact books, don't know anyone, call up people, win inventory, do the whole investment plan thing, and then try to win customers for a longer duration of time. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was at dinner the other evening with a few of the OGs of the real estate game, and a friend of mine, Rona, shout out to Rona, she was talking, we're having this debate about receiving calls. No, she's got her own company now.
Oh, okay.
And so she's one of the best agents out there for a long time, and some of the other guys were complaining because they bought some properties themselves and they were getting hounded by other agents. She's like, guys, listen, go to another country in the world and you can't get anything done. So she talks about Thailand, and she's got property there, and she's like, you can't get them to do anything. The agents are so lazy.
Wow.
And the same in the UK. I've bought property in the UK and it took me 6 months to transfer, and nobody wants to lift a finger. And here it's so dynamic, fast paced that when you do get those calls, you need that sometimes. If you want to be involved and you want to buy and sell, then that's what you want. They're hungry, right? And that's 100%. What moves the market for everyone. So it's not always negative. If you are wanting things done, this is the place.
No, absolutely. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear it from an agent.
Yeah.
And we've all been there. But yeah, just going back, you said resilience. I think hunger, having that hunger. There's so many different types of agents that do well here. And I remember when I first came, in my first Thursday afternoon meeting, because it was Friday, Saturday weekends back then.
Yeah, of course.
In the company where we were, it was a really big company, and you all had to, at the end of the week, you'd have to queue up. A song came on, and it was the same song every week.
Okay.
I think it was a Whitney Houston song.
Oh, wow.
It was really weird.
Interesting choice.
But a song came on, and a big screen, you'd have a microphone, and your name would come up, and you'd have to shout out your figures for the week.
Wow.
So that was kind of like putting you on the spot. And I remember stood there, luckily I wasn't involved because I'd only been at the company for a few days. And I remember one guy in the office, his name came up and he said 800,000. And they were like, come on down. And he got a Rolex.
Wow.
And I remember, I could tell you where I was stood, and I was on my phone, calculating how many pounds it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe he's just earned this. In those days, there was no calls allowed on your mobiles. You had to go through the company system.
Got it.
So I was like, right, I'm going to just, because there was a way, I found a way, you could put a code in and log into someone's calls. So I'd just be, every time he made a call, I'd just log in and listen to his calls.
Wow.
And it made a beep, so he knew someone was listening, but he didn't know who. But I was always listening because I thought, he's doing really well, I'm just listening to what he does. And I was listening and I was like, he's not doing anything that would stand out.
Yeah.
And then I used to do that with not just him, but then all the other top five. And what I realized is people were so different. Some were really flamboyant and energetic and gravitas, and they were playing the sales game, and others were just like, this is the price, But the one thing that the top guys have is hunger. Yeah. They're like, they just don't take no, they just keep going. Yeah. And that's something that is like a leveler. If you have that hunger, you can make it.
100%.
You don't need to have amazing sales skills, honestly. Yeah. And I think people be underwhelmed with some of the top performers, but they're just perhaps organised and they follow up. You do have the most amazing salespeople and characters, but you also have people that are just kind of straightforward and plain and just not in a bad way, but they're just following up and they're making, So it's it's quite interesting. And then for Kendall now, I'm super excited to be part of the journey.
I'm super excited to have you on the journey. And I think it meant a lot to us, especially because you were actually using our product, and then you were like, let's do this, right? So I was just very taken aback by that, and that really does mean a lot to me. And look, I'm openly like unashamed to admit that we have so many kinks and like things to like work out. Like there's so many issues that we're fixing all the time.